Hey everyone, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at the absolute underdog to empire story of Titan. We're talking about a brand that didn't just sell a product, but literally transformed the modern Indian lifestyle. If you've ever wondered how a massive corporate shift actually happens on the ground, or, how a single company changes the very fabric of consumer behavior, well, this is your perfect case study.
So think about this for a second. A 10-crore investment that was heavily, and I mean heavily, criticized at the time. It was a massive gamble. How on earth did this risky bet overcome a super strict government monopoly to completely revolutionize an entire market? Let's unpack the history and the incredible evolution of this iconic brand to find out.
Part 1. The monopolized era. Okay, picture it. It's 1970s India. You're operating under the License Raj, this era of suffocating red tape and really strict government production caps. In this environment, the watch industry was essentially a government monopoly. It was completely dominated by standard issue, super utilitarian mechanical gears. Buying a watch, it wasn't a fashion choice. It was a lifetime commitment. You literally waited months to get one, and you wore that bulky piece of metal on your wrist until you died, whether you actually liked the look of it or not. But over in the boardrooms at the Tata Group, spearheaded by visionary leaders like J.R.D. Tata and Xerxes Desai, a completely radical new idea was forming. They looked at timepieces not just as some clunky utility, but as an expression of personal identity and style, all driven by this highly precise quartz technology.
Moving into Part 2, the impossible gamble.
Right, so in 1984, the Tata Group partnered up with the Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation, or TIDCO, to form Titan. They were betting absolutely everything on quartz technology, while the rest of the mechanical addicted industry was basically laughing at them. No way it would work, right? Well, they started by building this gleaming modern factory out on the totally barren plot of land in the sleepy town of Hosur. But here is their real genius, the grassroots approach. Instead of trying to poach veteran watchmakers from other companies, they recruited young, entirely inexperienced students straight from remote villages. They built transit homes to house them and painstakingly taught them the deeply technical art of micro-precision. To take rural students with zero background in engineering and turn them into world-class horologists, that was unheard of for the time. They proved they weren't just making watches. They were building entire careers from scratch.
Part 3. Selling style, not time. Fast forward to 1987, their first print advertisements hit the newspapers, and the consumer mindset shifted almost overnight. It's like a switch flipped. Titan basically stopped selling time and started selling style, a real game changer. Suddenly, people were literally holding newspaper clippings and standing in front of shop windows. Watches transitioned from being these mere utilitarian tools into jewelry, into gifts, and into the ultimate status symbols. By coming out with launches tailored to specific aesthetics, like the really gorgeous Raga series, they completely changed the conversation around what a watch could actually be.
Just look at this timeline. The momentum is literally staggering. From that barren plot of land and a wild partnership in '84 to completely shifting the paradigm of style in '87. And that incredible foundation, it set the stage perfectly for 2002, when they leveled up from just being stylish to becoming an absolute technical powerhouse. I mean, they evolved from a sleepy town factory to a true global competitor in under 2 decades.
Which brings us to Part 4, the masterpiece.
3.5 millimeters. Seriously, just think about that for a second. With the release of the Titan Edge in 2002, they achieved a horological marvel that was just 3.5 millimeters thin. So why does this matter? Well, it forced the entire globe to stop viewing Indian manufacturing as strictly low-end. It was the exact moment India proudly stood up and told the rest of the world that yes, they could craft the absolute finest, most precise instruments imaginable.
Next up, Part 5, the Trojan horse strategy. Okay, so dominating the wrist, that was actually just step 1. The watch was the Trojan horse. That little quote right there reveals Titan's much grander master plan. You see, they had spent years building deep, unshakable consumer trust through these reliable, stylish watches. And once they had that absolute trust, they used it to pivot and infiltrate highly guarded, completely different markets. Once they had the consumer's deep trust, they went way beyond the dial. First up, Tanishq. They took on a highly fragmented, unregulated gold market, bringing some seriously much-needed transparency to an industry that was frankly famous for opaque pricing and questionable purity. Then, Fast Track. They captured the pulse of a new, rebellious youth generation, expanding into edgy accessories. And then, Titan I+. pushed their dominance right into modern eyewear. They completely transformed the company into the undisputed architects of the modern Indian lifestyle. Massive revenue growth followed, proving this strategy was an absolute masterclass in brand leverage.
And finally, part 6, the legacy. What started as that highly criticized, massive 10 crore gamble is now literally the crown jewel of the Tata Group. It is a pure testament to vision. It proves that in the heart of India, with enough patience and a true unwavering commitment to design, well, you don't just measure time, do you? You define the era. All right, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final thought. Stop waiting and start creating. Think back to that 1970s mentality we started with, waiting months for permission under the license Raj, waiting for some standard issue mechanical watch. Titan flipped that entirely. The watch on your wrist became so much more than a machine, it became the pulse of a nation deciding to invent its own future. So, taking a page out of the Titan playbook, what is the quartz technology or the Trojan horse in your own industry that you are just waiting to create? Thanks for joining me today, and I really hope this sparks some creative disruption of your own.